Hello and welcome to the AOR Pro Mazda Championship. This is Season 5, Round 6 at Bathurst. You can see the Drivers and Constructors Championship scrolling on your screen right now. This is going to be a really interesting race today, but first of all, we got to do a qualifying lap with your pole sitter, and his name is Michael Mittner of LM Rennsport. Hello one and all, welcome to the AOR Pro Mazda Championship, Season 5, Round 6 here at Mount Panorama, Bathurst. It's been a while since we were last here, and this is your pole man, Michael Mittner, who is going to set your lap time. He's coming through the final corner now of Murray's Corner to start his lap right now. Here we go. This is the lap time that everyone wants to see because number one is Hell's Corner. What a name! And it just epitomises the track. Down at 73 miles an hour you go. Now this long straight, which is horrendously long. One of the two long straights here at this massive circuit. Just 3.86 miles. Mittner second in the championship as you head over through the Peddars Bridge. There you can see it ducks right down off camber as you head towards turn number 2. This is Griffin's Bend. No runoff on the outside, remember. And so you've got to be pinpoint accurate. As you can see, Michael Mittner very clearly is. Turn 3 is a small kink left. You can see maximising the apex before heading into turn number 4. This is the cutting and he needs to get this sorted. And now 5 and 6 will come along. This is Quarry Corner. A lot tighter than you think it is. Under the Fujitsu Bridge. And now 7. This is where the corners start hitting. Reed Park. Now Frog Hollow. This is turn 8. Turn 9 now. Suleiman Park. And now McPhillany Park will be the next corner. Here he is, taking it now. Turn number 10 at 135 miles an hour. You can see the speed hitting really hard as he heads to Skyline 11. And now the S's, 12 and 13. The Big Dipper's next. And you can see he gets some air into 14. Now there's 15, 16 and 17 in the next corners. And now the Forest Selber. Turn number 18, big braking zone down to just 61 miles an hour before putting on that accelerator. Turn 19 is the small kink. It doesn't matter. And now you can relax. And also I can relax under the Jim Beam Bridge there. And now he's got time to think. He's got 4 corners left of this circuit. You've flown through a lot already under this Mitsubishi Fuso Bridge. And now turn number 20 will come along. This is the chase. You can see going at 150 miles an hour into the right-hander. Braking very late. Down into the left of 21. Now 22 comes along under the Armour All Bridge and 1 corner left. That is Murray's, and this has been a fantastic lap from Michael Mittner. He set the pace alight here at 203.645, and that is how you do qualifying. So here are your qualifying results then. Mittner on pole from Jean-Francois Godin of Team Players Racing. Right now, row 2 is locked out by Phil Reed and Rene Osterkamp. Row 3 is Andy Cowie and Christian Takash. Dometer and Leister lock out row 4. But the big surprise is Knut Martinsen is in 11th in the second AOR Blue car, right the way down the championship. There are 21 cars on the grid, only 19 cars shown there as the other 2 didn't hold a lap. So, cars gridded up. We are ready and we are underway here at Mount Panorama. Interesting start, nothing really going on, no overtakes being made, but Godin has made a good start, trying to make it round the outside here of the car of Michael Mittner there, the LM Rennsport livery as they head up the hill now towards turn number 2 for the very first time out of 24 laps. And you have to say, Phil Reed's got a fantastic getaway right now out of turn number 1 because he's fighting Michael Mittner for the lead. They're going to be side by side into turn number 2. Osterkamp trying to go there in second place, and there you can see Phil Reed getting a little bit of a twitch and he can't get it sorted on Michael Mittner. So he manages to keep the place that he had at the very beginning. Great work there from the LM Rennsport car as we cut back down the field towards Frederick Johansson now of Team Tortoise. There's a pile-up there. 2 or 3 cars, they're getting caught out there. The brakes not working yet, very cold, and that was the cause of the incident. What a shame for Johansson, who has to turn it all the way around again. But back at the front we look. Phil Reed trying to get back onto the back of Michael Mittner as they head through Skyline for the first time. Turn number 11 into the S's section, and now this is where the cars are tested. Godin running a little bit wide through there, and he might have to pay the price as we look behind, and the answer is, well, we cut away. Has Osterkamp found a way through? I think he has. Yes, he has. But now we're looking at Phil Reed, and he's losing time right now to Michael Mittner, who was fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying. Under that Jim Beam Bridge he goes, and now he's just got to wait, try and hold it in the slipstream. It doesn't look like he'll be close enough this time, but he might have a go later on in these laps. course, there are 24 laps here today of this Mount Panorama circuit. There you can see in the background Andy Cowie there having a little bit of a scrap, but we turn away from it right now because Phil Reed is still closing, trying to get onto the back of Michael Mittner here at the end of this first lap here of 24 around Mount Panorama, into the right-hander, the left-hander of Murray's even, to end the first lap. Michael Mittner has got off to a good start, and it seems Osterkamp might be ever so slowly falling off the back, and they can see it there. Godin has fallen down the field a little bit more. He's fallen back to fifth. Andy Cowie's found his way through this pack, and it just seems that everything is now starting to settle a little bit. The fastest lap was a 2:07, of course, by Michael Mittner, because he was the first across the line. So into the left-hander of Griffins for the second, right-hander of Griffins for the second time, and there you could see Phil Reed getting a little bit twitchy on the way in, just trying to play it a little bit conservative, and he's starting to drop down a little bit. See, Steve Kager has come into the pit. Seems that he's had a very poor start and got caught up in an incident somewhere. There, that is a shame. Plumley dropping down in 12th. Martinson now straight through, as we're still looking at Phil Reed right now, trying to chase onto the back of Michael Mittner, but Mittner is pulling away right now. The gap is considerably small as we pull our way back to the white livery of Eric Hall, and he's caught the wall there on the outside, trying to get it on that Fujitsu bridge through Quarry Corner, and he's caught himself out and got it horribly wrong. What a shame for Eric Hall. He didn't want that to happen, and well, that might just be the end of his race as Phil Reed's trying to get through the end of the mountain section. Through the forest elbow he comes, and right now, well, he needs to find something because he is losing and hemorrhaging a lot of time to the number 87 car, Michael Mittner. His championship rivals, we look back now at Andy Cowie, who is trying to close in on the Hydroforce racing car of Rene Osterkamp. Of course, only one Hydroforce racing car today, as Ty McLeod's computer has died. So, Andy Cowie in the 222 machine, trying to get onto the back of Rene Osterkamp, and not close enough this time, but he might have a go through the mountain section into turn number 2. Right now, final corner coming up here for Andy Cowie. He's not close enough yet, but he's had a really impressive season so far. He's 4th in the championship, not really in a position to be fighting with the likes of Martinson, Mittner and Reed, but that is a point to mention. Knut Martinson finds himself only a couple of points behind Michael Mittner, but a mile down the field right now, as we'll get a run through of your results. Mittner fastest lap on a 2:03.8 there. Mittner leads. It's Phil Reed in second, Osterkamp third. It is Cowie in fourth, Godin fifth, Christian Takasha, Red Devolution, finds himself sixth. Dometer of TNT Racing, he finds himself seventh. Leon Robinson in eighth. It is Davin Michaud in ninth, and Christoph Leister rounding out the top 10, and Martinson Backrace started in 11th position right now. So, Cowie now chasing up the hill, trying to find a way through. Of course, Godin is looking to find a way as well. May I note in practice that there were 6 cars who were split by 1/10 of a second, so there are a lot of drivers who are really going to be tight fighting. You can see Takashi starting to fall off the back of this group a little bit, and now Godin's all over the back of Andy Cowie as they head into Skyline and the S's. But no, nothing doing. It's really single line through this sort of section as they head down the Big Dipper and through these lefts and rights consistently as they head to the Forest Elbow and the back straight. Well, this has been an interesting start. Hasn't really been too much that have gone on. We've hailed this as a track which can take the lives of many because this track is a mean mistress. It is known for many big accidents around here. We're on board with Bruno Dometer now here in 7th position, the number 16 car of TDT Racing. Haven't really seen him much this season, but he has been a delight to watch. Into the left hand he goes, sorry, and now the right of turn number 22. He's on the back of Christian Takash, and he'll be looking to try and find a way through here on the Red Devolution driver. His best opportunity from where he is now is turn number 2. But back to deal with the front, it is Michael Mittner out in front from Phil Reed right now as we look back at Richard Grimley coming in through the final corner, and he's run a little bit wide and he collects the wall. And that's the end of it. Phil Reed now sets fastest lap, 2:03.7. but that is the end of Richard Grimley's race, and that is a shame. Back on Dometer, who's looking to have a go here at Christian Takash, down the inside, into turn number 2. Can he get the move stick? And there's contact between the two of them. Into the wall goes Dometer. Dometer gets Takash taps Lee and Romson there, his wing badly bent up, and that looks like the end of Bruno Dometer's race right now. What a shame that is. Here on the 4th lap, we said it could take some victims. Now Saltalamacchia having a go down the inside, and more contact down at Griffin's Bend. Oh my word, Saltalamacchia getting the wrong end of Fu there, and now we cut to Phil Reed. Wow, what an eventful lap 4 this has been. Carlos Fu, I must mention, on his debut there, collecting a certain car there of Vittorio Saltalamacchia. But right now we focus to the front because Phil Reed is trying to pull the gap back in, trying to get back into that slipstream. Of course, no DRS on these Star Mazda cars, which will be interesting. The gap at the front is 16 points in championship terms as we cut to Nigel Spears in his yellow livery. He was complaining of having PC issues, and into the wall he goes. Completely lost all of the back end there, bit of oversteer, and bang, into the wall goes Nigel Spears, and that looks like a race-ending incident. On board with Godin now, as he looks to see the battle between Cowie and Osterkamp developing ahead here at the end of lap 4. Into the left-hander they go of the final corner. That is Murray's corner. To start the lap, you can see Andy Cowie running a little bit wide there, and he'll be looking to try and place his car ahead of Rene Osterkamp. Of course, the second of the LM Rennsport cars there, Andy Cowie, and he might have a very good run here up the hill, up the mountain straight towards turn number 2 on the circuit, which is Griffin's Bend. Right now we cut back to Saltalamacchia, who has a car behind him of Jamie Webb, and into the wall goes Vittorio Saltalamacchia, and that'll be the end of that. There's contact, and whoa, Osterkamp up and over in the air, Cowie in the wall. Oh my word, what happened there? Oh, they must have tangled, but that is a shame because we have lost 2 extremely quick drivers, and I've been saying that it's a cruel mistress round here, but that looks like the end of the race for both of them. What a shame for those two who were working so hard to try and battle for the final podium positions. But back up at the front, these 2 drivers are making sure that they're not finding the walls anywhere around these circuits. It's Michael Mittner and Phil Reed, 87 and 44, LM Rennsport and AOR Blue. You could see a lovely slide there from Michael Mittner, but that has slowed him down and allowed Phil Reed to catch up onto the back of him right now, and this could be an opportunity here for Phil Reed. Phil Reed could find a way through, but it's not about now who does it. And as we look on board with Evan Imre, now heading down into the Big Dipper, and now into the left-hander, and now another right, and then another left as he heads towards the Forest Elbow right now, the 887 Team Torts machine. Right now as we're looking, and there is Robert Plumley in the wall there at the Forest Elbow. That looks like a race ender for him as well. Didn't quite catch the instant there. What a shame there for the 147 machine. He's just really had some bad luck so far this series, really struggling to find the places that he wants to, that he needs, as we look back at the front, and there has been a change in positions, and whoa! Michael Mittner pushing a bit too hard through the final corner there, dropping time to Phil Reed, who is out in front now, made the move down towards the chase. Well, great move there from Phil Reed. We didn't get a chance to see it. There you can see Jean-Francois Godin in the distance. Let's look at James Webb, the 555 machine, running LM Racing livery, as he is behind Steve Kagerer in the Menarden. You can see there half Minardi, half Jordan livery into the right-hander of the final corner. No, nothing doing as of yet, but he'll be looking to try and find a way around the Canadian driver here, will James Webb. Into turn number 1 he goes. No opportunity there. It will have to be a very long wait down this straight, the mountain straight. It just seems that he can't find a way through. There are just 11 cars on the lead lap out of a possible 21. So we look to Christoph Leister in the LM Racing car right now. Through the right-hander he goes Aquaria now into the series of parks. That was Reed Park he just passed. Now the Hollow. And Sulman Park there. the left-hander, and now McPhillamy Park, the next one. And as we look at David Michaud, the second of the team players 3-4 at the moment, through the right-hander he goes, now through the Big Dipper, and the right-hander again of turn number 15, 16 and 17 next. Well, David Michaud, he's been known to be a midfield sort of driver, and with the incidents that have been going on today, he's done very well. Christoph Leister, of course, well, he's had a very good season because he managed to qualify in second place, I believe, at Silverstone. That was a very good qualifying for him. Of course, incidents that happened there. So we have been broadcasting here, but without commentary. So to those who are not watched, this is how the season's unfolded. Well, the first half so far. Basically, we had 4 different race winners in the opening 4 races. With Leon Robinson getting his first win of the season at Silverstone. Gunnar Nienhaus, who is not here today, he picked up his win at the start of the season down at Interlagos, if I am correct. I'm probably wrong. No, I am wrong. It's Laguna Seca. As we cut now back to the leaders, Michael Mittner and Phil Reed. Michael Mittner is not getting anywhere at the moment, so we cut back to the car of Carlos Fu on his debut here in AOR Pro Mazda, and boom, that's an engine. And Carlos Fu's race is well and truly ended. No doubt about that. Shame for him on his debut. He was running good. But to go back to my point, yeah, 4 different race winners in the opening 4 races. Michael Mittner picked up a race win at Donington Park, and there was a race win on offering for Phil Reed, which was at Interlagos. So that's where I got Interlagos from. But yeah, round 5 was interesting, of course. It was at Homestead, Miami, and it was a second race win for Phil Reed. And it was an interesting last lap there. But right now, we should focus on the battling here, because Mittner's going to try and close the gap down as we cut back to Jean-Francois Godin, the 99 car for team players. Well, he's in a world of his own at the moment. No cars really ahead of him. No cars really behind him. So he's really just driving to stay consistent, almost like a time trialist would. And you have to say that Jean-Francois Godin has always been the bridesmaid, never the bride, still yet to pick up his first win. And he had terrible form in the opening half of the season, apart from Homestead Miami, where he managed to put his car on the podium once again. And he looks set to do that again, as Mittner is right behind the leader, Phil Reed, right now. The championship gap between them, 16 points. Mittner automatically takes a point away because he took pole position. He gets 1 point for that. We do have points for pole in this series, of course, and so that will put the gap down to 15. And if he gets ahead of Phil Reed right now, the gap will close to 10 points in the Drivers' Championship right now. You have to say, though, in the Constructors, it's looking like AOR Blue are starting to walk away with it a little bit compared to LM Rennsport. And LM Rennsport won't be quite happy with Andy Cowie losing out there in an instant with René Osterkamp into turn number 2. Right now, Mittner trying to close the gap. He cannot seem to sort that out at the moment, but he'll just have to wait later on up this cruel, cruel mountain. So we are about 1/3 of the way distance into this race right now. It is Phil Reed ahead of Michael Mittner. Jean-Francois Godin finds himself 3rd with David Michaud in 4th. For the team of Team Players Racing, Christoph Leister in 5th. Knut Martinsen now has salvaged something with everyone retiring. He's in 6th right now. It is Evan Imre in 7th for Team Tortoise Racing. Steve Kager in 8th for the Menarden team. 9th is James Webb, who is another relatively new driver to people watching. And Leon Robinson seems to have had an incident because he has dropped down outside the top 10. Seems that he's had a crash because he was running up near Christoph Leister, I believe, earlier on in the race. So that is a shame for Leon Robinson. Of course, the number 69 AOR Red Machine has had a race win, and now it just seems he cannot convert any sort of result out of it. But as I say that, Michael Mittner trying to close back in the slipstream down the Conrad Straight right now as they head towards the chase. Turn number 20. Is he going to have a look? Answer being, well, no, not yet in this battle. So, 8 laps to 24. Most people decide to fuel very long in this series, so we could be seeing pit stops as late as lap 24. And as I say that, Phil Reed has been taken by Michael Mittner. A great overtake there, and that is a fair overtake there from Michael Mittner. Great result, but was that tactically the right decision? Because Phil Reed could have a little look up the mountain straight into turn number 2, Griffin's Bend. We've seen a couple of incidents, and he'll have to be careful if he makes a move. So that you can see right underneath that gearbox, and it seems that he has lifted, deciding that it's too dangerous to go at it into turn number 2. Very small margin for error as you start to climb the mountain now. Turn 3, and now turn 4, the cutting is a very deceptively difficult corner, because if you're slightly off, you are thrown to the outside of the circuit right now. But Michael Mittner and Phil Reed are breaking away from Jean-Francois Godin at the moment, but the more they battle, the more Godin will close in. So to summarise, these are your retirees at the moment. Frederick Johansson is out for Team Tortoise. We've lost Eric Hall, we've lost Richard Grimley, Vittorio Sotalamacchia of Kianducci Racing. Bruno Domitor is out after an incident with Christian Takash earlier on. Robert Plumley's out of the race, and so is Andy Cowie and Rene Osterkamp. And Nigel Spears looks like he's out of the race as well. As we look at David Michaud, he's being caught and he's in the wall and up and over. We lose another casualty, and it is David Michaud who puts it in the wall on turn number 15, just after what I believe is the Big Dipper. What a shame. And as I say that, Michael Mittner now in a fight with Phil Reed, who will go to the outside and try and take the lead. Yes, Phil Reed back out in front of Michael Mittner then at the end of lap number 9 to start lap number 10. Wow, great move there from the AOR blue car of Phil Reed, but what a shame for David Michaud, who was running in a career highest position ever of 4th for Team Players Racing. Lap 10 of 24 here around Mount Panorama. 3.81 miles here, this circuit. Deceptively short in length, but what makes up for it in length is the long lap and the tight and twisty sections. And there you can see Mittner poking his nose out, trying to find a way through here on Phil Reed, but no, he won't have a go into Griffin's Bend right now as they climb the mountain once again. It doesn't seem Mittner's got a chance so far, but it will all pay dividends after the Forest Elbow. We haven't really seen any overtakes up in this mountain section. It really is one line suits all. Down here, of course, this track more notable for V8 Supercars. There's Nigel Spears, who's managed to get his car back up and running again, heading now through the series of lefts and rights towards the Forest Elbow here. Into the right he goes. Very comfortable as we look at, once again at Mittner and Reed. This is the biggest battle on the field, probably the only battle in with cars on the lead lap. The battle for the lead right now. The gap between them and Jean-Francois Godin, well, if I could estimate, it's about 7 or 8 seconds right now. See, not in shot as they head down this back straight, and I think Michael Mittner's too far back this time to really have a challenge, to really do anything right now. See, look at that Fuso bridge there, Mitsubishi, and can he have a go into the chase? Answer is no, too far back this time. Might have to wait till the next lap. Of course, the pit window we are estimated to be quite late. That is, if every car can actually make it to the pit window. We are estimating a pit window of around lap 15 to 18 maybe. We're trying to estimate. Of course, these cars run very heavy on their fuel. Most drivers choose to run maximum fuel, to run into 2 gallons for the finish, for example. But right now, just being careful, being cautious. You don't need to make a move all the time. There you can see Godin in the background, and that is how far these two drivers have managed to pull away so far. They're doing a very good job, but the more they battle, the more Jean-Francois Godin will start to close. Now, for anyone new to the AOR Pro Mazda series, welcome. This is done on a client called iRacing.com, as you can see in your bottom right-hand corner. Generally, the racing is really fair and really fun. Of course, this is a monster, the Australian monster here at Bathurst. Of course, famous for the Bathurst 1000 in V8 supercars. But these Star Mazda cars, well, they're tearing it around at about 2 minutes, 2 minute 3, 2 minute 4 laps. If you're looking at these race leaders right now, heading through the S's section once again, lap 11 of 24. Really flying these two are championship rivals, you have to remember. Phil Reed, the car in front for AOR Blue, he leads the championship by 16 points coming into this event. So, with that in mind, Michael Mittner would love to take some points out of Phil Reed right now. Of course, being careful, there are bonus points to be added. You get 1 bonus point for a pole position, you get another bonus point for fastest lap, and you get a final bonus point if you do not incur any instant points. There you can see Michael Mittner trying to go to the outside, didn't work, trying to tuck in underneath, will try and go for the cutback, he'll be on the outside for the final corner here. Really interesting battle as they head down into Murray's. We cut away at exactly the wrong time to James Webb. Here as he gets a little bit of sliding into the wall goes James Webb. And that is the end of that race for the LM Racing Boy. James Webb is out to the 555 car, and it looks like Phil Reed held on to his position. Of course, I was making the point that there are bonus points on offer, a maximum of 3 bonus points. Right now, it is Phil Reed who holds fastest lap of the race at the moment, and Michael Mittner might want to change it. So, we are halfway now through this race, and we have lost a lot of drivers. Now, only 7 cars are circulating on the lead lap, and here are the cars that are out or circulating again. So, Frederick Johansson is out, alongside Eric Hall. Vittorio Saltalamacchia is gone, so is Bruno Johnson. Robert Plumley, Richard Brimley, Carlos Fu on his debut. Andy Cowie's gone with an incident with René Osterkamp. Christian Cash has got his car back up going, so is Leon Robinson, and also Nigel Spears, but they are still a number of laps down. David Michaud is out, and so is James Webb. So we are down to 7 cars in the field. So this is how it looks right now as we look at Evan Imre losing it up to the cutting. There, big slam into the right-hand wall. I told you that corner was deceptive, and well, it's claimed a victim today. Now the battle back at the front. Mittner trying to fight with Phil Reed once again here on lap 12 and 24. He's got a better run than he's had on previous laps. Moves to the inside, but as soon as you hit the downhill section, all speed differentiation is gone between these two cars, and there you can see defending the inside very comfortably there was Phil Reed. Made it sorted, and look at the time Michael Mittner's lost, trying to hold it around the outside, a few tenths gone there out of that battle. It sure is possible to be made up as they head through the right-hander of the final corner once again. Lap 13, this is how the field looks. Phil Reed leads Michael Mittner by less than a car's length right now. Jean-Francois Godin is closing the gap down in 3rd, with Christoph Leister in 4th, and Knut Martinsson, the other of the 3 title rivals, in 5th position at the moment, as we look at Richard Grimley, who has managed to get his car going once again. And bang! Losing it again into just before the Forest elbow there. Another snap of oversteer. Second time we've seen a car do that. And Michael Mittner going for the inside here into Griffin's Bend right now. One of 2 prime overtaking spaces, and he's made it stick. Great move there from Michael Mittner, who will now re-inherit the lead and try and pull away once again. This has been a very, very interesting battle between these 2 drivers. They've been trading places in the 2 main overtaking spots on each lap, or every other lap. Right now, as they're heading through the series of left-handers, this is McPhillamy Park, not named after Phil Reed. Phil Reed trying to find a way through. This is Skyline, turn number 11, into the left and the right now. And it's just a matter of following down this mountain section. There is exactly no runoff in this sort of section, so pinpoint accuracy is needed, similar to a level of Monaco, you would say there. Oh, look at that. Michael Mittner just ran very, very close to that outside wall, so he cuts away to Steve Kagerer right now, the number 2 machine. Well, he's trundling along very nicely as he heads through the left and right, and then the left as he heads now through the series of lefts up the hill. This is the Frog Hollow, and there is Sulman Park. Now McPhillamy Park is next. The big left-hander at 135 miles an hour. Well, Steve Kager has had a very conservative race after dropping to the back of the field at the very beginning. Now heading through a series of lefts and rights as he gets down the mountain. But Steve Kager is one of these underrated drivers in the league. He has managed to have some good results before, but generally you find him battling down in the midfield, and he finds himself in the middle of nowhere in that Menarden car, you do have to say. Nowhere near Michael Mittner, nowhere near Phil Reed. But what does have to be said is Steve Kager is one of the drivers who have stayed here probably one of the longest as he heads through the chase right now. He's had a pretty good drive today, apart from lap 1, and he'll be looking to try and get things sorted here on lap as he ends his 13th lap and under the Armour All Bridge into the final corner. So if you've just joined us, where have you been? Because everything has gone on here today. Michael Mittner leads from Phil Reed here as we have just, I believe, 4 races to go after this. Not running a 12-race season, but an 11-race season due to a Christmas break. So, 4 races to come after this, and I have to say things are very interesting indeed. Almost anyone who is anyone is either not made it to the race today or has crashed out. But 3 guys who are still in this race are Phil Reed, Michael Mittner and Knut Martinsson. However, it looks like Christoph Leister has managed to lose the car somewhere, because he is dropping down the order. He was running in 4th, and that will be another casualty added to the list, the ever-growing list here around Mount Panorama. This maiden is taking no prisoners tonight, and that is a real shame here if you were looking for some close wheel-to-wheel action. The only real action we're finding is at the front of the field with Michael Mittner and Phil Reed right now. So, Michael Mittner and Phil Reed, championship battle, 16 points difference right now. Martinson was only a couple of points behind Michael Mittner, and qualified 11th did Knut Martinsson, but we're still looking at Steve Kager as we have done for about a lap and a half. And looking down in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see Phil Reed has found a way past Michael Mittner right now. So the battle has changed once again. Now we're starting to hit this pit window, lap 15 to 18. We said it before, races can be won or they can be lost in these sort of moments. Kager now heading through the left and the right of 22 right now. Armour Bridge he will pass under now. So into the pits comes Steve Kager for a scheduled pit stop. Very difficult pit entry here. Lefts and rights, you really have to slow down as we're looking back at the front once again. Michael Mittner and Phil Reed battling. Of course, we will not have cameras when the pits happen, so it will really be down to luck of the dice to see who comes out in first, who comes out in second. And another person to add to the list is Jean-Francois Godin, because he is closing in, if I am correct. And then you can see heading through the left-hander right now, Michael Mittner. The cars all seem to close down through this mountain section. Heads through the forest elbow now for the 15th time. All over the back of Phil Reed, the AOR Blue Man, the champion. And of course, if you have just tuned in to watch and you're asking, where is Kerry Nolden, where is Justin Brunner, where is Jamie Fluke? The answer is, they're not racing in this league anymore. They've all gone on to do bigger and better things. So, this is where the new guard come in, and the new guard try and fight the likes of your Martinsons, the likes of your Mittners, your Reeds, your Godins, your Osterkamps, your Cowies, your Leicesters. So, Steve Kager finds himself in 6th position at the moment there in the number 2 car for Menarden. Of course, his teammate that you normally find, Chris Robinson, is not racing anymore in the league. He's been replaced by, I believe, Nigel Spears. as a racer, but I am not too sure on that one. Kager now running through the series of left-handers here on lap number 16 out of a possible 24 laps here around Mount Panorama Bathurst. It's really been an exciting race. I've really thoroughly enjoyed watching this one, and with pit stops still yet to come at 2/3 distance, we are still waiting for it. And as I say it, Michael Mittner has come into the pit. We won't be able to see how he pits, but this is changing the landscape. Phil Reed will have to do a quick lap. We're still looking on board with Steve Kagerer right now, but it will be emphasis on Phil Reed and Jean-Francois Godin to try and close the gaps down and try and get everything sorted. Right now, Steve Kagerer is still running very respectably in 6th place. I think this might be one of his career high finishes. I'm not too sure on that. Christoph Leister seems that he's got himself going. He might have pitted earlier. That's why he'd be down in P number 5. I didn't quite manage to catch that. But something crucial to note is Knut Martinsen is back in 4th position. And now he is damage limitation mode for the Norwegian right now. So, to sum it up, in terms of constructors, it is AOR Blue, team players, then it is LM Rennsport, AOR Blue, LM Racing, Menarden, and then Evan Imre racing around in 7th in the Team Tortoise car, if I am correct. Still a few drivers are circulating the track, but running many laps down. Just maybe looking for some research and development, seeing how much damage affects them in their runs. But Kagerer there getting a lovely bit of a slide out of the cutting there, turn number 4. Very deceptive corner. It took a certain Mr. Evan Imre earlier on. So, is Phil Reed into the pits here at the start of lap 17? Yes, he is looking to cover the undercut. Right now is Phil Reed. Godin has followed as well. They're both in the pit. We are not going to get a chance to see what is going on in there, but we will try and bring you with this updated thing. As you can see, Godin's been taken, but has Phil Reed from Michael Mittner. Mittner inherits the lead once again. He was second coming into the pit, and now he has the lead once again. So, the battling at the front will still continue, but Michael Mittner now takes full advantage for LM Rennsport. Martinsen now also in the pits. He's running in a world of his own right now. That will allow Christoph Leister to come past. Of course, Leister did not crash earlier on. That was an error on my part. He must have just pitted or something. So he finds himself in 4th position right now, does the LM Racing car. Martinsen in only 5th right now. Leon Robinson now moves up in 7th past James Webb. Robinson still going along on his laps. We'll be interested to see what happens here in this race, as we're still on the car of Steve Kagerer, still going around, trudging along. It's nice to see the Menarden get a little bit of exposure. We don't normally get to see cars further down the field get extensive coverage as this. So I'm going to stay quiet now, and you're going to see a lap along board with Steve Kagerer. Oh, well, I say that. Very, very lucky there from Steve Kagerer. Almost found himself in the wall there, out of the forest elbow. Very, very fortunate to catch the car before he hit the tyres there on the right-hand side. Steve Kager, of course, running in 6th position at the moment. Michael Mittner out in front from Phil Reed, and then Jean-Francois Godin in 3rd position at the moment. We are down to just 6 cars on the lead lap, and this is the final car on the lead lap. His name is Steve Kager in the Menardin, the Canadian, the number 2 car. Well, everything's gone on here at the start of the race. We've seen cars flying left and right, over barriers, upside down, and what have you. And really, we are down to the nitty and the gritty. 6 laps to go. The leaders have all made their stops. And, well, it is Michael Mittner who has managed to take the advantage by being out in front. Phil Reed in 2nd for AOR Blue. He's your championship leader at the moment. 16 points the gap coming into this event. Of course, 1 point's been taken away because of pole position. I don't think either of the drivers will have any form of instant points, or I think they do. However, Phil Reed does have the fastest lap to neutralise the points gained, or the point gained from taking pole position right now. As we said, we're running on board with Steve Kager right now for a number of laps. Really, there hasn't been much going on here in this race since about lap 10. That's just when the whole field spread out and not really too much happened, apart from the battle at the front, which seems to be that Mittner's found at least a 1.5 seconds here on Phil Reed, because we are not cutting away up to the front to see the battling between them. We're staying on board with Steve Kager in this Menardin car, which will be very pleasing for Menardin to get very extensive coverages of the race here at Mount Panorama Bathurst. So, 6 laps to go overall. Lap 19 of 24 Michael Mittner's on. Generally, you've got to be careful. You've got to think that you've gone through the difficult part where all the cars are bunched up close together, taking each other out left and right. You've got to now stay focused and make sure you do not put it in the wall or in any form of barrier or anything. You just got to stay cool, stay calm, stay collected, and there are very good points out on offer for these guys. So, for those of you who have been watching this series a long time before, Michael Mittner is searching now for his 3rd win, not his 2nd, due to the fact that we haven't shown any coverage of the AOR Pro Mazda Championship since round number 4, I believe, at Zolder. So, for those of you who didn't know, Justin Brunner took a 3rd consecutive title ahead of Kerry Nolden and Jamie Fluke and Phil Reed. He dominated with 10 wins out of a possible 12, and this time we've got an 11 race series, and we have had a couple of changes. There's been a whole new handling dynamic to the car. There you can see a flash of German colours there. That's René Osterkamp, who is running just ahead of Steve Kager right now. He's running after a horrific crash where he flips himself up and over. Of course, he was at one stage just 6 points behind Phil Reed in the championship after 3 really good, consistent results, apart from Laguna Seca. So, to summarise what happened, Laguna Seca gun in the in-house romped home to victory, and of course he hasn't really shown up since due to other commitments. So, Phil Reed took the 2nd race of the season over at Interlagos and was set to take a 2nd race win in a row at Silverstone, but within the final 3 laps he managed to find a disconnect, which means that he was out of the race and back down in 16th. Then we moved over to Donington Park, where Michael Mittner took a well-deserved 2nd race win of the season. Look at that car, though, of René Osterkamp. The front nose is completely gone. You can see the engine's exposed, massively damaged rear wing. How is he driving that, and why is he driving that? Maybe looking for some extreme research and development, see if he can manage to drive a car all the way home, but that is a battered Hydroforce racing car, if ever there was one. But going back to my point, round 5, last time out, was at Homestead, Miami. We saw a result there where Phil Reed took his 2nd race win of the season after a very good drive from him. around the Roval, that is, a road oval. But now here at Mount Panorama, well, we're starting to hit the nitty-gritty and the big-time money. We have just 5 laps to go here around this circuit. We're on board with Steve Kager as we have been for about 6 laps. So really, it hasn't been that very exciting here during the second half of this race. But this is the bridge. This is the second half of the season. And after this, it is the rundown for the end of the championship. And of course, if you thought this race was bad, just wait till you hear where we're heading to next. We're heading to the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Next time, next week, you'll find this race to be. So, Mittner's just crossed the line. We have 4 laps remaining here in this Australian race. At Mount Panorama Bathurst, the mistress has claimed a loss of lives today, and well, this will be an extremely interesting finale, I do have to say. And whoa, as I say that, Kager has caught the wall, and bang! Osterkamp will just tap the back of him there. What a shame. Kager was running well in 6th, and that looks a terminal crash. Suspension damage, and that will be that as we look on board with Leon Robinson now. We're not going to Michael Mittner. Leon Robinson running around at least a lap down at the moment. He's running in 7th position in LM Racing, AOR red car as he spun the car around again. Keeps it going, and he will have a car dealing with him. This is Jean-Francois Godin, though, running just a little bit behind the leaders. He's a lot closer than he has been, but he's still not quite close enough. Right now is the team player's car. Of course, he's had a horrendous first 4 races. Managed to bring it back for race number 5. And here's a driver that we haven't looked at too much today. This is Knut Martinsen of the second of the AOR Blue cars. The fact that his consistency is to be found says a lot about him in the championship. He is only about 3 points behind Michael Mittner. Of course, Mittner had that poor result in Silverstone. So, what you do have to know is there are drop weeks involved, and that can severely change the championship. And as I say that, Michael Mittner's dropped down to 2nd place. Something's happened there. I don't quite know. He was out and ahead by a couple of seconds, and now he's lost 2 seconds to Phil Reed. And look at Godin. Godin is back in the fray as we cut away to Evan Imre. So, 3 laps to go. Everything has completely changed. We look at Evan Imre, who is crabbing along that front straight. You can see there, really struggling with that rear wing. You can see it battered and bent. Many cars trying to find a result out of this as we cut back to Jean-Francois Godin. Look at the gap now. He might just be in slipstream range. And if Godin's in slipstream range, he can then mount a charge on Michael Mittner and also a charge on Phil Reed. And this race is far from over. I am getting word that Michael Mittner spun it at the forest elbow, so that was why everything had gone wrong there for Michael Mittner. He will have to work doubly hard to try and chase down the AOR Blue driver, who has fastest lap in this race, mind you. So, 3 laps to go. This is the situation. Phil Reed leads Michael Mittner from Jean-Francois Godin. This is going to be a fantastic final 3 laps. We've had a series of the Menarden show earlier on where we watched Steve Kager for a very long time, but this is the nitty-gritty and this is what racing's about. Godin trying to chase it down the mountain now, into the left and now the right there, turn 15. Can he find a way onto the back end of Michael Mittner's LM Rennsport car and find himself in a position where he can battle with the big boys and try and go for his maiden win here in AOR Pro Mazda Championship? We cut now to Christian Takashi, who's still managing to get his car going. You can see that battered side pod there on his left-hand side. So he heads through the right, now left, right again for Christian Takashi. Now, Takashi's been a driver who's really been impressing, but he's had a couple of no-shows to a few of the races, but when he has raced, he has been really good. Back on board with Michael Mittner. There will be 2 laps to go as you cross the start-finish line right now. Mittner will be trying to look to close their gap, and the answer is he has closed it. He is right behind the number 44 car of Phil Reed, and Godin looks like he might just be out of slipstream range. I'm not too sure on that. So what can Michael Mittner do? There is a slip car you can slipstream off ahead. I don't quite know who that is off the top of my head. Looks like one of the LM racing cars. Probably James Webb. But you can see already trying to get as much slipstream as they possibly can. Michael Mittner is chasing here. He really is chasing. Trying to get the result away from Phil Reed. Jean-Francois Godin there. Oh, he looked like he tapped the wall behind. Oh my word. Jean-Francois Godin has thrown away any chance he possibly could have had. And now we are down to two cars who are trying to win it. I can liken this to the Skip Barber 2K World Cup Eliminator, because it is basically every car starts together and then cars start going out after lap after lap after lap, and now we're down to a final 2-lap chase. Here, Mittner, he'll be desperate to try and find a move somewhere along the lap. Can he make a move down the mountain? Answer being at the moment, no, not quite just yet. But Michael Mittner and Phil Reed will be battling this one out for the race win. Hopefully we will not switch coverage from this. Stay on the edge of your seats, people, because this is about to get interesting. Down the Conrad Straight for the penultimate time now. Michael Mittner tucked in the slipstream. Looks like he's got a really nice run if he can get it good. Answer being pulls out alongside, but now the neutralizer of downhill happens. They will be side by side once again into the left of turn number 21. Answer, are they going to be fair to each other? Yes. Mittner trying to find a gap, trying to find a bit of space, but no, he can't get the move done just yet. He might have a little peek into the final corner. He does peek, but does not go through. Now, 1 lap to go here. One final lap of 3.86 miles of Mount Panorama Bathurst. Who will win the prestigious race here? Who will conquer the lady? Well, down this straight. This is one of arguably 2 overtaking spots you can possibly have on this circuit right now. Michael Mittner is looking for a way through. We are on board with him right now as he heads up towards number 2. It is off camber here into Griffin Park, so you've got to be really careful with where you place the car. No, both of them come through safely. But now you climb the mountain, and now you've got to be careful about where you make your overtakes. Here, this is the cutting, turn number 4. Traffic ahead of Evan Imre, if I'm correct. Yes, Evan Imre is still running. So, through the right, and now the left here. That was Reed Park, Phil's own corner. Then it's Frog Hollow, Sulman Park there. Was that left hand they just passed through? Now McPhillany Park. And oh, you can see he's pushing so hard behind his Michael Mittner to stay with Phil Reed right now. Through Skyline, through the S's. And there is a car there in the wall. That is Evan Imre, who was just ahead of them. So they've done very well to avoid that. But now heading through the rights and lefts. The Forest Elbow will be next. And into the right-hander they go. And Mittner trying to go it down the inside. He gets it sorted. Now there's just one opportunity left for Phil Reed, and he'll have to do it at the chase into turn number 21. Wow! After all this racing, 24 laps, every car under the sun crashing out. It will come down to this. Reed moves along, side by side they go, with one opportunity left. Surely you would think into the right-hander they go. Are they going to get close? They are going to get close because there is contact between the two. But Michael Mittner stays ahead crucially, and with 1 corner to go, I don't think Phil Reed will be close enough because 1 corner remains. Michael Mittner has got his 3rd race win. He will take 6 points out of Phil Reed, but more crucially though, he will take the win here at Mount Panorama today. Phil Reed will maintain the lead in the Drivers' Championship with a 2nd place result. Jean-Francois Godin, the 99 car, what could have been for him? Another bridesmaids podium. He will finish 3rd. Knut Martinson there. He will finish in 4th position, and he will be, as if I'm told, the final car on the lead lap. Just 4 cars finishing on the lead lap today. And well, that's been a really interesting race here around this circuit of Mount Panorama. We have lost 17 cars away from the lead lap. You can see already the damage there to Cash coming across the line. He'll finish 9th. He'll get half points, hopefully. Osterkamp, well, he's going to finish outside of 75%, so I think that might class as a DNF. He might get half points for it, but look how fast that high performance racing car, and what could have been for him. He was running in the podium position after a tangle with Andy Cowie. So, to summarise your results, Michael Mittner takes his 3rd race win in his history, his 2nd of the season. Jean-Francois Godin is 3rd, Martin 4th, Christophe Leistel come and finish 5th, Kager 6th, Leon Robinson 7th, 8th there, and 9th and 10th. As we're running down the lower half of your top 10, this has been a very interesting race, and next time out we will be at the one and the only Nürburgring Nordschleife. Until next time, we'll see you around.